You're listening to the Access Success Podcast, produced by AccessU, a division of Access Advertising and Public Relations. Hey, let's do something big. I'm your host, Rachel Schneider. Welcome to the Access Success Podcast, where we highlight important topics focused on education in every form it takes. One of the things we've noticed as an agency is that our clients have some amazing goals and ambitions. If you listen to our episode with our account manager, Robin Lewis, then you know how important communication is to set up expectations for meeting and exceeding those goals. And the sooner that open dialogue starts, the better. And that's why we're bringing in our client relationship manager, Lee Cooley, who is passionate about helping organizations and institutions grow and finding ways to tell their stories here at AccessU. He's a veteran sales and marketing leader and a self-described tech geek. Since earning a bachelor's degree in business administration from the University of Tennessee, Lee has worked in multiple business industries, from Fortune 500 companies to startups. He is an alumnus of Leaders Under 40 in Charlotte, North Carolina, and a member of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. Lee, welcome to the Access Success Podcast. We're happy to have you on today.
Rachel, thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're such an asset to our team, which is why we wanted to ask you, since this is your first podcast appearance, could you tell us what led to you coming aboard AccessU?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think you touched on some of it in that very kind introduction, by the way. I've had a marketing and sales background and really spent the bulk of my professional career there, probably the last 12, 15 years. I've touched all parts of the sales cycle, from top of the funnel, account management, everything in between, across different industries, and had an opportunity to take a look at working with AccessU as a contractor initially. But I think what attracts me to the organization is a couple things. First, I come from a family of educators, right? So I've got parents that have touched decades of education and teaching in community colleges, high school. I've got a sister that has also spent 15 years teaching elementary school. But I guess I was kind of always odd man out. And this is about as close as I'll get to actually being in the classroom.
Well, and it's such a great combo, coming from your background and your interest in being able to mold those together. So as our client relationship manager, could you describe some qualities that are important for relationship building in your position when you're making those contacts and figuring out what those different potential clients may need?
Yeah, for sure. So I think it's a couple of things. One of the ones that comes to mind, and you'll see this not just in education, but across all sales, is understanding context and understanding people. And what I mean by that is how big are the relationships based on like the number of clients on a team? Are you working with an individual? Are you working with an entire district? What is the relationship in the past if you're just coming into the organization or just coming into the relationship for the first time? That's super huge context as well. And then also from a psychological standpoint, who are they as people, right? Kind of getting an understanding of, are they more analytical? Do they like numbers? Do they like a good story? And really getting to know people outside of just the transaction, but understanding who they are as people so you can develop a personal relationship and not just a business transaction.
Those are some great points just in terms of understanding that dynamic so that you can best put the pieces together and find out which experts from our team we want involved on calls with them and what services we can offer. And at AccessU, we're grateful to have worked with and supported so many colleges and businesses in the communities, maintain those relationships. So how does maintaining those connections also help continue to grow our network when we make sure that those relationships are intact, before and during and even after we're working with a client?
Yeah, that's a great question, Rachel. So the old saying is true. We like what we buy from people that we know, and we buy from people that we like. So that's important to consider that when you take a look at a referral, which is a warm lead or a warm connection. And that's a heck of a lot easier than just trying to establish a relationship out of the blue. People know you, they like you. It's a lot easier for them to vouch for you, which gets you in the room and helps grow your network, grows your reputation, and makes that entire feedback loop work that much more smoothly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that you'd mentioned when we talked previously how it's beneficial to have our case studies as a reference as well, and keeping that work together in a way that's shareable for other clients who may want examples of our work too.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think going back to some of that psychological piece of the relationship building, right? People receive information in different ways. So while someone might like a warm introduction, if someone might be a little more analytical, they might be more interested in the statistics, they might be more interested in the numbers, they want to hear a good story. That's where those case studies come in handy as well. Combining that with someone that they know that has been through that experience, and you can speak to that on paper and on your website, makes it that much easier.
100% and adds to that credibility aspect too when you're able to point to exact examples that they may be asking for, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we know that every client has their own unique goals and needs. What's another asset of working with our agency that is maybe hard to find elsewhere?
Yeah, we've got a great team of experts, right? So when you talk about high quality work, that is synonymous with AccessU. So you can be the best salesman in the world or the best salesperson in the world, but if you don't have a great product, if you're not able to speak to great work and show that off, that makes the job a lot harder. AccessU also stands out just in terms of support and the amount of doors that you can open. You can knock on anyone's door. I feel like our team has an open door policy. So to get a question answered, to get support, to have a team member jump on a call and give an opinion in order to move the transaction forward, in order to get a referral, in order to close the deal. Our team has been very successful and very supportive in doing that.
I think that goes back to how appropriately we are named in being Access and AccessU is because people have access to speak to our experts with a variety of services, whether it comes to website building or digital marketing and analytics to just social media management. You know, if there's a
Oh yeah.
particular subject they want to know more about, then we absolutely can have an expert jump on and be able to explain it who, you know, has that focus for their workday.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, Lee, thank you again so much for sharing some of these insights and just your background knowledge and expertise here. Since this is the Access Success Podcast, could you share a recent success story from your personal or professional life yourself?
Yeah, for sure. So I won't name any specific names on the client, but we recently started making connections in North Carolina, as you know. And this particular organization really needed some help with a number of things: branding, marketing, web presence, social, the whole nine. We were able to take a look at where they are and really where they want to be, and just take a look at filling that gap, right? Understanding the tactics, the strategy that they've used in the past, and really trying to bring them into the year 2023. And the campaign is still going, but there's a lot of positive momentum. There's a lot of positive reviews so far. So we're excited to do that with this organization and a lot more.
And what's that like for you to see that all come together, especially when it comes to educational organizations and coming from a family of educators?
Yeah, that kind of brings it full circle, right? I mean, the idea of what we want to do is help organizations bring on more students, right? We want to help with their enrollment, we want to help with their presence, and being able to see where they were in the beginning versus where they are now. It's just a good feeling to know that, you know, we're helping bridge that gap. We're helping on the end user side. You could say we're helping make education more accessible. And that kind of goes back to what you said about our name and being AccessU.
Absolutely. And any win that we can get for our clients is a win for us. Any success we see there becomes a personal success because we do truly get so invested in, our clients' projects and that success. So it's great to see that go on and see them reach their goals. So, Lee, thank you so much for being on the show today. Is there anything else you wanted to mention, or if people want to get in contact with you, if they have questions about working with AccessU, how can they reach out to you?
Absolutely. So I think the best way to connect with us, any of our team, is just to check out our website and drop a quick note in the contact box at accessu.com.
Excellent. Lee, thanks again so much. And if you're listening to this episode today, like Lee said, head to accessu.com. We have so many examples of our work there, and you can see our team members page and take a look at all of the experts we have on our team and their specialties. And we'd love to work with you. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to the Access Success Podcast produced by AccessU, a division of Access Advertising and Public Relations. Find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram to keep up with what the world of education needs to hear at AccessU Agency and connect with us at accessu.com. Let's do something big.